So I don't normally do reels on this channel. To be honest, I really don't do anything on this channel. But for today's video, I really want to get serious about substance abuse because I've had my fair share of substance abuse and alcoholism. Let's get serious. Before I get this video taken down, this is for educational purposes. I'm talking about my life experiences and my struggles in hopes that someone else doesn't have to go through this. The sounds out here are amazing. Look at those geese. They're beautiful. In 3 months, it'll be 1 year of sobriety for me. That is insane. Especially if you know my history. Nobody that watches my channel actually knows my history. Maybe 1 or 2 people. Maybe my sister. But in 3 months, it'll be 1 year that I'll be sober. The thing that nobody tells you about sobriety, it's a very, very difficult thing. And I know you'll get people on YouTube to say that, oh, it's not that hard, just stop. When you've been doing something for 10 years of your life, in my case 11, but we'll say 10, a decade, it's hard to stop. It's hard to just stop. So why is it so difficult whenever you've been smoking or drinking for a decade to stop? And the answer to that is because you think you need it, when in reality you really don't need it. Need and want are 2 completely different things. If you can't discern what you need from what you want, then you need a lot more help than just sobriety. Just because I started smoking weed at 12, it was fun then. It was, hey, I don't know what this weird little plant does, but I found it in the garage. And I'm going to try something out. I'm going to try something that other people say sounds like fun. And then it started to become the same old thing. So the question at that point was, why did I keep doing the same old thing? Why did I just keep doing it? If it was not fun anymore, why keep doing it? Because by the time I was 16, I had friends that were doing it, and it was the cool thing to do. And then at 16, I convinced myself that it was a stress reliever, when in reality it was just fun. And answer me this question. What 12-year-old has so much stress that they need to de-stress? Not a single one. And I still have this dirty, nasty habit of smoking cigars. But that's a different thing. I think that's a lot of the problem that plagues current civilization, is needing to de-stress at 12 to 16 years old, when in reality it's not de-stressing. And I've made my fair share of excuses, don't get me wrong, but whenever you have responsibilities, 22-year-old, 25-year-old, which is where I'm at now, it puts things in a lot different light. The amount of years that I wasted because I was so wrapped up in the drugs and alcohol and all the other stuff that came along with it, and the friendships, the relationships that I lost because of my absolute intolerance to life without having some sort of substance running through my body. I don't have any other word for it other than insane. And whenever it gets to that point, you just kind of have to step back for a second and take a look at yourself. And I know I'm saying a lot of nothing, but the reality is I've used marijuana, I've used alcohol, I've done LSD, I've done a lot. And if you're one of those kids that's like me, who just want to experiment, do it at home. Do it around people who actually know you. I'm sorry to say it, kids, but the fact of life is you're going to have to deal with some stress. You're going to have something to deal with. So why just block it out? Why just be a shell of yourself? I've met some people who really never learned that lesson. Things are stressful. Things are always going to be stressful. I found out what LSD was whenever I was 17, 18. That blew my mind. I don't know if you've ever done acid at a party with people you don't know for the first time you've ever taken acid. It's not fun. I was so terrified that I locked myself in a room and did not come out until everybody was asleep, and still had probably 6 hours left of that particular trip. I was watching the carpet move, watching everything just dissolve in front of me. And as a first-time user, that freaked me out because nobody gave me any guidance. And believe me when I say, you don't want to be freaking out in the back of your coworker's apartment while everyone else is asleep. So there were a couple years where I sought out to find and do LSD, and after that I was working at a sunglass shop and I could always get it. And after that first bad trip, I decided that can't be it. That can't be all. So I went for another round and another round and another round and just kept going back to it until one day I just stopped. And whenever I stopped, it was onto something else, and I had to find something else to fill that void. So then it became a habit whenever I was drinking to smoke something. It wasn't fun at that point anymore. It was consistency. So for a while, I would get off of work, immediately roll up a blunt and smoke on the way to the gas station to get a 6-pack or a 12-pack. Sometimes it got so bad that it was a 24-pack. I would sit on my couch and just consume content. Whenever the cocaine came into play, I was lying to everyone. There were nights that I would go out with friends and I would sneak off to the bathroom. I would come back 3 or 4 lines down. To me, it wasn't noticeable except for how I felt, and no one else said anything about it. But if you've ever been around people who are users of cocaine, you can tell. And I'm always disgusted whenever I think about the people that I thought were absolutely ignorant to it because I thought I was the smartest person in the room. I was never the smartest person in the room. I have so many other stories that I would tell. I don't know what the statute of limitations on some of these stories is. But the point of this whole video is sobriety is pretty great. And I'm not saying that I'll never drink or smoke weed again. But in the past year, I've learned that nobody likes an asshole. Nobody wants to be friends with an asshole. So don't be an asshole. And if you choose to be that guy, be that guy. But don't say I didn't warn you.